What if the whispers of the soul could pierce the veil between worlds, revealing truths you've never dared to face? What if the words of a man, humble yet boundless in spirit, carried messages from beyond, messages that could unravel the very fabric of your reality? Imagine sitting in the quiet of your own heart, confronted by stories so vivid, so piercing, that they force you to question everything you thought you knew about life, death, and the invisible threads that bind us all. These are not mere tales. They are echoes of souls who have crossed the threshold, brought forth by a hand guided by something greater. And today you stand at the edge of 7 such stories, psychographed by Chico Xavier, that will not just touch your soul, but demand it answers back. You've been told that death is the end, a cold finality that silences all. But what if that's a lie we've all agreed to believe? What if the departed are closer than you think, their voices carried on the wind, waiting for someone brave enough to listen? Chico Xavier, a man who walked among us yet seemed to dwell in realms unseen, claimed no power of his own, only a willingness to serve as a bridge. Through his hand flowed words that shook the skeptical, comforted the grieving, and challenged the proud. These 7 stories are not fiction spun for entertainment. They are raw, unfiltered glimpses into lives that refuse to be silenced by the grave. Each one carries a weight, a question, a mirror held up to your own existence. Are you ready to look? Picture a moment when everything you hold dear, your certainties, your comforts, crumbles under the weight of a single truth. Chico Xavier's psychographed messages do not ask for your permission. They invade, they provoke, they awaken. These stories will not let you sit passively. They will pull you into a dance with the eternal, where every step feels both foreign and achingly familiar. A mother's plea from beyond, a confession that rewrites a family's history, a warning that chills the marrow. These are not just narratives, they are invitations to a deeper understanding. But here's the catch. The truth they offer is not handed to you. It's hidden in the folds of their words, waiting for you to unravel it. Can you resist the urge to turn away? The world rushes past, drowning out the quiet voice within. But these stories demand you pause. They speak of love that defies time, of pain that carves wisdom, of souls who, even in death, reach back to guide the living. Chico Xavier, with his gentle smile and unyielding faith, became a vessel for these voices, not because he sought glory, but because he could not refuse the call. Each story you're about to hear is a spark, a fragment of a greater fire that burns beyond our sight. They will stir something in you, perhaps a memory you didn't know you had, perhaps a longing you've buried deep. But be warned, once you start this journey, there's no unseeing what these stories reveal. Will you dare to follow where they lead? This is not a video you can watch with half a heart. These 7 psychographed stories, born from Chico Xavier's sacred connection to the unseen, are a summons to your soul. They will ask you to feel, to question, to remember what you've always known but forgotten. With every word, you'll sense a pull, a tightening of the thread that ties you to something vast, something eternal. To stop watching is to leave a piece of yourself behind, a piece that might hold the key to who you truly are. So take a breath, let go of your doubts and step into the unknown. The stories are waiting, and they will not rest until they've touched your soul. Are you ready to let them in? Have you ever felt a shiver run through you, unbidden, as if a truth long buried stirred within your bones? What if the stories we dismiss as impossible are the ones that hold the key to who we are? 7 psychographed tales, etched by Chico Xavier's hand, wait to unravel the veil you've drawn across your soul. These are not mere words on a page. They are pulses of lives that refuse to fade, voices that cross the chasm of death to whisper in your ear. Each story is a mirror, reflecting not just the past, but the questions you've buried deep. Questions about love, loss, and the unseen forces that shape your every breath. To hear them is to risk awakening something within you, something you may not be ready to face. The world teaches us to cling to what we can see, to trust only the tangible. But what if the greatest truths lie in the shadows we fear to explore? Chico Xavier, a man of quiet strength, bore no crown, sought no throne, yet through him flowed messages that shook the foundations of doubt, a child's plea from beyond, a secret that rewrites a lifetime of pain, a warning that hums with the weight of eternity. These stories are not for the faint of heart. They demand you listen, not with your ears, but with the raw, unguarded parts of yourself. They ask, what are you hiding from? What truth have you locked away, pretending it doesn't call your name in the silence of the night? Every soul carries a wound, a longing, a memory it cannot name. These 7 stories, born from the unseen, will find that wound and press against it, not to harm, but to heal. They will pull you into a dance with the eternal, where each step feels like a memory you've lived before. Chico Xavier's words are not his own. They are the echoes of those who loved, suffered, and transcended. They speak of forgiveness that burns brighter than vengeance, of love that outlasts the grave, of truths that cut deeper than any blade. But here's the danger. To listen is to invite change. To feel these stories is to let them rewrite the story you tell yourself. Are you brave enough to let them in? The air grows heavy now, doesn't it? You sense it, the pull of something vast, something that knows you better than you know yourself. These psychographed tales are not content to sit quietly. They demand your attention, your heart, your willingness to see beyond the lies you've been fed. Chico Xavier stood as a bridge between worlds, not because he was extraordinary, but because he was open to the pain, the joy, the raw humanity of those who spoke through him. Each story is a thread in a tapestry larger than you can imagine, and to pull one is to unravel the whole. What will you find when the threads come loose? What part of you will these stories claim? You cannot unhear what these stories will reveal. They are not here to comfort you with easy answers. They are here to ignite a fire in your soul. A mother's voice that shatters time, a confession that turns guilt to grace, a message that feels like it was written for you alone. These are the gifts and burdens of Chico Xavier's legacy. They will stir the embers of your deepest fears and highest hopes, blending them into something new, something undeniable. You stand at a threshold now, where every word pulls you deeper into a truth you've always known but never dared to name. Will you step forward, or will you turn away from the call? The heart quickens, doesn't it, when faced with a truth that refuses to be ignored. These 7 stories are not relics of a distant past. They are alive, pulsing with the urgency of souls who will not be silenced. Chico Xavier, with his gentle gaze and unyielding faith, became their vessel, not for fame, but for love. A love that binds the living to the departed, the broken to the whole. Each tale is a spark, a fragment of a fire that burns beyond the veil, and to touch it is to feel the heat of your own existence. They will ask you to remember what you've forgotten, to feel what you've numbed, to see what you've closed your eyes to. But be warned, these stories do not belong to the casual observer. They belong to those who dare to feel their weight. There's a rhythm to the unseen, a cadence that hums beneath the noise of the world. These psychographed messages carry that rhythm, weaving through your defenses like a song you can't unhear. They speak of lives interrupted yet unbroken, of hearts that ache yet endure, of truths that shimmer just beyond your grasp. Chico Xavier's hand was steady, but his heart was aflame with the stories he carried, stories that now demand your presence. A single word, a single image, can shift the ground beneath you, revealing a truth you've carried all along. What happens when you stop running from it? What happens when you let these stories find you? The deeper you go, the more you feel it, the tightening of a thread that ties you to something eternal. These 7 tales are not content to be heard and forgotten. They are a call to awaken, to question, to become. They will slip into the cracks of your certainty, exposing the fragile beauty beneath. Chico Xavier knew this power, not as a master, but as a servant, offering his life to voices that long to be heard. Each story is a doorway, and to step through is to risk everything you thought you were. But isn't that the point? To lose yourself in order to find yourself, to break in order to become whole. The stories are waiting, and they will not let you go unchanged. The stories have spoken, haven't they? Not with the clamor of the world, but with the quiet insistence of a truth that lingers in your chest. 7 voices, carried through Chico Xavier's hand, have woven a tapestry of love, pain, and redemption. A tapestry that now drapes over your own heart. They've stirred something ancient within you, a memory not of this life, but of all lives, whispering that you are more than flesh, more than doubt, more than the fleeting rush of days. These tales are not bound by the grave. They are alive, pulsing, asking you to carry their light forward. What will you do with the spark they've left behind? You stand now at a crossroads, where the veil between what is and what could be thins to a gossamer thread. These psychographed messages have not come to comfort you with answers, but to awaken you with questions. What is the weight of a soul that refuses to be silenced? What is the cost of a truth you've yet to face? Chico Xavier's legacy is not in the words he wrote, but in the hearts he opened, the eyes he turned toward the unseen. You've glimpsed that unseen now, a mother's love that defies time, a confession that heals old wounds, a warning that hums with eternity. The question is not what these stories mean, but what they mean to you. Feel the stillness that follows their echo. It's not emptiness, but a space carved for your own voice to rise. These 7 tales have peeled back the layers of your certainty, revealing the fragile, beautiful truth beneath. You are bound to something vast, something that breathes through every loss, every hope, every quiet moment of wonder. Chico Xavier was no prophet, no saint, only a man who listened when the world turned away. And now, you've listened too. The stories have planted a seed, one that will grow only if you let it. What will you nurture in the silence they've left behind? There's a rhythm to this moment, a cadence that ties you to every soul who ever dared to love, to grieve, to seek. These stories are not the end, but a beginning, a doorway to a deeper understanding of yourself. They ask you to look at your own life, your own pain, your own unspoken dreams, and see them not as burdens, but as threads in a greater design. Chico Xavier's gift was to show us that even in our brokenness, we are whole. Even in our solitude, we are never alone. Let this truth be your anchor. You are seen, you are known, and you are called to rise. Will you answer? And so we leave you with this. A single flame, kindled by 7 stories, now burns within you. Carry it. Let it guide you to share this journey with others. Those who, like you, seek meaning in the shadows. Like this video, if it stirred your soul. Comment with the truths these stories awakened in you. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe, not just to a channel, but to a path of discovery that will not let you remain unchanged. The stories are yours now, and they will not rest until you let them live through you. Step forward and let the flame grow.